Hello and welcome to the second video in this little mini series putting INAV 3.0 onto this model here. This is a ZOHD Alpha Strike, but the process and steps that I go through are the same irrespective of what kind of model I'm putting it on. So I thought this INAV 3.0 with the Alpha Strike setup that I've been doing recently would be a great opportunity to kind of document every single step that I go through to get a model that is kind of tuned and set up and ready to fly well. Now at the end of the last video we'd done the basic setup. We'd flashed the flight controller, confirmed the GPS was working, configured the outputs. We'd done lots of the basic setup stuff, but the model is not ready to fly. There are a handful of extra things that I do before I go to the field, and I treat the maiden flight of a model in a slightly different way to then subsequent flights. So in that first video we set up the modes more like I'd actually fly it, whereas it's worthwhile changing a few of the modes around for the maiden flight so that we can auto-tune and we can auto-trim as well. Once that's set, it's kind of a one-time deal, and then we can just get on with flying the model and having an awful lot of fun. So let's get onto the bench and I'll show you all of the remaining steps that we have to do. So here back on the bench we're ready to finish the setup. As we left it at the end of the first video, it wasn't ready to go to the field, and you shouldn't fly like that. There's a couple of extra little tips and tricks. Now I have got the prop installed on this particular model because we are going to plug in power again. We're going to do things like check the amount of throw in the control surfaces. That's really important, particularly for fast models like this, because you can get into trouble. So what we're going to do is, first of all, let's connect to this, and we're going to change the flight modes I would recommend for any maiden flight that you're about to do, because although in the last video we set it up for how I'd probably fly it, the maiden I'd do a couple of slightly different things. So let's click on connect, and what we'll do is we'll jump into the modes tab. Now in the modes tab, if you remember last time we set it for like horizon, nav return to home, nav position hold. That is probably what I do after the very first maiden flight to check that all the GPS stuff is working okay. However, what we're going to do, we get rid of nav return to home for the moment, and nav position hold. I would have the basic setting as horizon, then the next mode to fly in as manual, and then the last mode on channel 5 not set anything, and that is going to be set as acro. So we've got horizon, manual and acro, and that is because we need to be in acro in INAV 3.0 in order to do the auto tune. And that is what the other thing we need to set up. We've set up auto tune. That's going to allow us to fly it and to flick it from side to side as we fly, and for INAV to figure out the rates and the PID setting, well, PIFF settings actually, but that's great. There is one extra thing that we need to tweak in here, auto level. So we're going to click on auto level and set that on its own channel as well. I'd add that onto another channel on the radio so that that's ready. So with auto tune and auto level set, those do two different things, and we'll cover this in the flight video in a moment. Auto tune, as I said, is going to set the PIFF and the rates. Auto level is going to allow you to fly in horizon mode, and when you flick that switch, it's going to then adjust that offset that we set. Let me just save this back in the configuration tab. If you remember, we actually saved a number. We put it as 8 degrees for this one, which was quite aggressive. Normally it's going to be 4 to 5. The fixed wing level pitch trim, that is going to be tuned and set by using the auto level, and in my experience that's the thing you have to do first, and then once that's set, then things like the servos can be all worked out. If you try and do too much, I'll show you the way that I do it in a second, it seems to work fine. So that's the modes done. I would do that. Next thing we're going to do is confirm the servo travel. So we're going to turn on the radio.
Welcome to OpenTX.
And we're going to plug in power. So again, we do not want the prop installed for this, because what we're going to do is we're going to manage how far the servos move by changing this rate number here. Now by default in this, it just so happens that the movement on the control surfaces is pretty spot on. This wing needs about 11 to 12 millimeters in either direction. Let me show you this. So we'll plug it in. Apologies for that noise. I did turn that down, but those of you with headphones are now deaf. Now we have the two control surfaces. Now if I move the radio, this is the issue that I've got. The radio's just too close at the moment. So if I move the stick to maximum deflection, the trick is I need to be in manual mode. There we go, I'm in manual mode now. You see the controls that move a lot more, and that is about how much I want. If I wanted to reduce that amount of travel, I could change it in here. So if I change it to 50% and 50%, that's going to be half that amount of travel. Click on save. I'll move the radio again so it connects. There we go.
Telemetry recovered. Telemetry lost. Telemetry recovered.
You'll see the control surface moves about half of that. Now, normally the way I would do that would be to go through, let's turn that off, to go through what the manual says it needs to be set at, or if you've already flown this model and you're happy with it, then obviously you just set it to whatever throws is in the manual. And this is why putting INAV in a plane that you've already thrown, where you know the servos need to be, you know the control movement, the amount of throws that you need, you know the controls, can make it much easier when you go to the maiden. You don't have to rely on things like the manual trim setup and stuff, because it's pretty much going to be set out of the box if you've already flown it and you know where everything needs to be. Next thing we need to do then is to confirm the correction. So I'm going to turn the radio on again.
Welcome to OpenTX.
We're going to put the travel back to 100% so that it is easier for you to see. And we'll click on save.
Telemetry lost.
So in manual mode, we have nice big movement. We're going to keep it in horizon mode though. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rock. I'm going to put the radio over there so it's happy. I'm going to rock the model, and what we should see is that as the back of the model comes up, the control surface moves up as well. And also if we rock the model from side to side, you should see the control surface on the rising wing rise to push that wing back down. That is all working great, so that is also good. By limiting the movement in this screen that we've just done, it also means that the INAV loops and controls, the stabilization stuff, is also only going to move the control surface the right amount too. Now, let's turn the radio off and unplug it.
Telemetry lost.
Because we're not bothered at the moment about doing anything with the power system, because the next things we need to do is kind of all based in the advanced tuning tab. Now I have a couple of files that I use to set up all my fixed wings. I've had them for a very long time. They work really well, and I'll put links down below to both of them. I would use the auto launch one with extreme caution. So my Alpha Strike setup, I have my back from INAV 2.1, they still work beautifully. These are all the settings that I want to change. So this means that it's a 60-degree inclination for self-level modes, RTH allow landing never, climb first, the return to home altitude, what the fail-safe procedure is, where the home is located, and the extra arming safety, which means it won't let me arm unless I've got a hard 3D lock. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go, and all of this stuff is kind of in here. You'll see that, you know, things like the way everything works and return to home settings and stuff is in here. But what I tend to do is go into CLI, I'm just going to paste them in, hit enter, click save, and that is all of those settings done in one go. Again, if you're interested in what each of those do, you can actually look them up in the INAV wiki. The last thing that I like to do is then also go and have a look at the stuff that's in the auto launch settings. Now I have a complete video about this, and this is the way that I set it up. But again, I like to hand launch, I like to have the prop spinning. Lots of people get really nervous about that. If you are going to have a prop spinning anywhere near your hand, you need to be incredibly careful with that. I have never in my 20 years of flying this stuff and hand launching ever been bitten. None of my friends have, but you hear horror stories. So just be careful of that. But this is the way that I set it up. At the moment though, the only thing is it's going to reset my launch angle back to 18 degrees. That's fine, everything else is good. And then if we go into the advanced tuning tab, we should be able to see some of those changes in those particular boxes. You could go through and change them individually. To be fair, I just have these little files that I use for pretty much every build. The only thing I might change is my idle throttle for auto launch. So with those two things set, last thing I would do is calibrate the ESC. The way I would do that is with the battery unplugged, go into the outputs. Again, make sure that the prop isn't on. Go down here, turn on the outputs, put the slider to the top, plug the power in, wait for the confirmation beeps from the ESC, then in INAV, drop that down to 0, wait for the confirmation modes tones to be sounded from the motor, and then you can blip the motor like that, and that's it, all set, pretty much done. Let's disconnect from this now. We are pretty much set. Just confirm your failsafe works, attach your prop, make sure that you can arm it before you go all the way to the field. And now we're ready to go to the field and do the first flight to do that auto tune and also do all the auto level stuff that will also put the control surfaces where they need to be for straight and level flight 2. So here at the field, just waiting to get a strong 3D lock, which we have. We can see in the top left-hand corner, loads of satellites and a H-dot below 2.0. So I'm going to arm the model and raise the throttle to the 100%, and it's going to go immediately into auto launch. So I just throw it and away it goes into the sky. As soon as I move the sticks, it's going to come out of auto launch and drop into the first of the modes that we selected, and that is horizon. So I'm just going to fly around in horizon initially, and I'm just watching the altimeter in the right hand side starting to warn me I'm getting very high, and that is pointing to the fact that my angle, my offset angle that we set at 8 degrees for the board alignment is probably a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is kind of go down to what I would consider a cruise throttle. That's where it just seems to be, you know, a nice decent speed. It's about 33-34% throttle on this very fast model. That's giving me 60 miles an hour. That's easily enough. And I'm just checking it again, and it seems to be, yeah, we've definitely got a situation where whenever I'm trying to fly straight and level, I take my hands off the stick so INAV flies the plane. It's definitely got the nose a little bit too high. But that's okay, because we have the auto level mode set, and we've got that on the switch. So I can turn that on and start to fly around with the auto level turned on. And what that is going to be doing is trying to calculate what that offset angle should be and save it back. And I usually try and fly straight and level, then take my hands off the sticks for a couple of seconds and fly for a little bit longer, and just keep going like that until I feel that it's kind of figured it out. Again, ideally what you should be seeing is that when you're flying with your hands off the sticks in something like horizon, that the altitude isn't changing dramatically. Now, once I am happy that that seems to have worked, I'll turn off the auto level stuff, and that part of the flying around is done. And hopefully what's happening here at the same time is the fact I've got the continuously trim servos for manual mode. That's also happening in the background, so I can switch into manual, and then I can try manual mode out and just see how that responds. Incredibly responsive little model this. So I'm having lots and lots of roll rate. So I'm going to just fly it around in manual first of all, just to see how well trimmed those servos are. And yeah, INAV has not only sorted out the auto level for horizon mode, it's automatically trimmed my servos for me. So in that mode, it's good as well. So we're going to acro, ready to do the tune now. So that looks pretty good. Auto tune. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick from left to right. Lots of people have very dearly held opinions of how to do this. I will either go hard left to hard right, and or hard left to the middle, pause, hard right, back to the middle. And initially I would do just one axis. I'm doing the roll axis here, and it's going to start off feel really smushy. Very technical term. It's going to feel very unresponsive. Keep going. It's going to need quite a lot of these flicks around. Just keep flying in between so you don't get too far away. And as you continue to do this, what you'll find is that it will start to feel more and more responsive. And this is now starting to feel more like it did in manual mode, which is great. It feels like INAV is starting to home in not only on the PIFF settings, but on what it needs to be for the rates too. Now I've done that, I'm going to go hard up and hard down and start tuning the pitch. Just keep doing this in each attitude until it starts to feel really nice. Keep an eye on your altitude, keep an eye on how far away you are, but just keep going. And even when it feels like it's really good, continue on well past that, as the settings are only saved after a couple of seconds. So you just need to keep flying well beyond the point where it feels good. Keep flicking left and right, up and then up and down. I would just do one axis at once. The way I tend to do it now is go from one side back to the middle to the other side in each direction and just keep going. Now auto-tune's finished, I'm going to pop it back into acro mode and check my roll rates and see what they're like compared with the manual mode where INAV isn't doing anything, and go back into manual and continue to fly it around. This has gone very well. So now not only are my PIFF settings and rates settings all done, thank you INAV, thanks to auto-tune, it's also now set up the board alignment offset, so it flies straight and level in the horizon mode, which is going to be very handy because that's the mode it drops into after auto launch. And it's also trim my servos for manual mode as well, which is how I like to fly. So I would call this maiden flight done, and I will bring it in, and before I turn it off, the new PIFF settings seem to be automatically saved in INAV 3. I do like to just have a quick look in the on-screen display to see where they ended up, and I've also got that record if I get back and check them on the computer and they haven't been saved. It's just an old habit. So with that maiden flight finished, then the plane is ready to go. I would take it back and go and check how everything's worked out. This is what I've ended up with as the PIDs and also the rates after that auto tune. And if we go and have a look at the offset angle, you'll see that the self-level, the auto level stuff that we've just done in that flight has reduced it from the 8.0 that I guessed it as originally down to 7 and a bit. And that's where it'll probably need to stay to fly as from now on. So from here on, I would back up this configuration just so you have it safe for future reference, and also change the modes back to something that would be more reasonable to fly. I tend to fly with horizon mode as my basic mode. That's the one it goes into after auto launch, and that means then it just flies straight and level until I kind of take it out of that, so it doesn't immediately kind of wander off. INAV is still flying the plane essentially until I take over. Middle value mode for flight modes tends to be manual. That's the way I tend to fly a lot. Manual, incredible fun. And the last one I would say would then be to do something like have a nav loiter, where I can kind of park it and it just circles around in space, or it might be in auto mode if I'm flying missions, or it could be anything else. Return to home tends to just be used as a mode on another switch in the event of a problem, and I've also got that as a backup in case of a failsafe too. So hopefully that's been interesting for you. Don't forget, whenever you go to the field, before you fly INAV, I personally would always make sure that you do a high five check, that you make sure everything is working, make sure that the failsafe works as well and your prop's nice and tight. And then when you start the flight, double check that things like the return to home are working. You know, fly a little bit further away, flick it, make sure it comes back, and then once you're happy with that, you can fly further away, safe in the knowledge that if something nasty does happen, you won't lose your model. Stay tuned for further videos in this series that I'll be making as I get requests and come across stuff that people are confused about. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that, if you're trying to learn a topic, will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.